Okay, I'm ready. Sugar free. Welcome back to Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Here for Chaos Corner. Coming to you live to tape 25 feet below the surface of the earth. Wait a minute. I'm live, but I'm taping this at the same time. Hence, live to tape. Yeah, fuck it, you guys get the idea. I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. Another special edition here on Story Time with the GOC. That's me. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Much love and respect to my members, subscribers, and those that don't subscribe, because you know, and you know that I know that you're watching. We have an unbelievable show here today because this is not a podcast. This is a show. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. With my over 50 years of being a historian, a researcher, a scout, an agent, a producer, a mark. That's right, I said it, a mark. And of course, my over 3 decades as a pro wrestling manager, from pillar to post, coast to coast, and border to border, that took the fucking bumps. Booked over 100 times a year as an independent pro wrestling manager, coming out 2 and 3 times on every event, which is well over 200 matches a year. Let that sink in. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Let that marinate. What'd I say, man? Don't be so sensitive. I'm full of piss and vinegar. I just had 2 swigs of Red Bull. What's today's date? It's the weekend. Bueller? Anyone? Oh, I believe it's July 13th. So I haven't done a live to tape show probably in, I don't know, maybe 10 days, but I've certainly been pumping out the content of classic pro wrestling historical footage here on the channel, getting thousands of views, coming up on almost 1 million total views here on the channel, over 3,000 videos. Go to the playlist. You'll see there's over 400 episodes of the Chaos Corner show. Chaos Clips. Story Time with the GOC. Flashback, the episodic YouTube adventure, which is coming back. This date, today in pro wrestling history. In-ring action. Dinner for Two, the show that I do with my wife. There really is so much footage on here and content that you guys have to navigate. Drop an elbow on that like button. Share it out. Leave something in the comment. Email me when I premiere these and go live. Join in the chat. Much love and respect, and I couldn't do it without my 2 moderators. That's right, I have 2. And that would be the OTS Tribal Queen and my brother from another mother, Austin Nance, that keeping it real, holding it down, and maintaining here on the premieres and the live chat. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. I really appreciate you accepting the wrench here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Follow me on all social media platforms, and you know what they are. Obviously here, as I just said, on YouTube. Of course, over on X, a.k.a. Twitter, Elon Musk said he thinks he's bringing back the Twitter name. So over there, you can catch me at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. On Instagram, it's the Guardian of Chaos. On Facebook, I have 2 accounts. That's right, there's 2. J Brony, to keep it simple. J Brony, just like it sounds. Keep it simple, stupid, for all you geeks and nerds and dweebs and neckbeards and mouth breathers and verbs. No offense, man. Kayfabe, lighten up, man. What'd I say? And then, of course, there's my other account on Facebook, which is even a little more into my personal life, in honor of my heritage. That would be, listen to it, I'll say it twice. Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Let me say it again. Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Also, follow me over on Rumble, at the Guardian of Chaos. I do it all in the IWC. That's what we do here. The chains are heavy. What's it been, like 90 plus degrees for, I don't know, 2 weeks? Much love and respect to everyone, as I already said. Shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because if he's for us, no one can be against us. Stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit. Open up the good book. Who knows what's going to happen in 2024, leading into 2025. I don't want to talk about all this stuff, but I'll throw it out briefly. A border invasion, the economy, wars, rumors of wars, all the stuff going on with the government, all the stuff going on with the upcoming presidential election, debates, everything that you can think of that's going wrong in this country, including the environment, which they are manipulating. That's what I hear. I do my research. Hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, floods, famine, food shortages. But we're not here for that. I got to bring the change back around, because this is what life is all about right now in current day 2024 leading into 2025. That's why I'm here, for a much needed distraction, a stress reliever, not only for you, but for me. This is my motivation, my love, my passion, and I hope that comes across to you, the fans. This is the opening monologue for Story Time. And I don't know if I'm going to do a couple of episodes today, but we're going to get right into it. We're coming up on, I don't know, close to 7 or 8 minutes. You know that if I haven't been on here in a couple of days or a week or so, I start to open up with a 10-minute monologue, letting you know everything that's going on in the life of the GOC. I bring you into my home. I put a face to the product. Last month, I put out over 80 videos, the hardest working man in this fucking industry, on YouTube. I don't mean to cuss. Bear with me here, please. So, school is in session. And remember right now that on Story Time, this is the very first time that I am reading along. The very first time that I am researching this book. And the very first time I'm telling these stories. So I'm doing it along with you. So if I get, rumble, stumble, mumble, tongue-tied, you guys know you like it when I get tongue-tied. So sit back and enjoy, and I hope I can bring you some entertainment. Because this is the GOC, Big Daddy, along with who I am as a real person. So this is half kayfabe, half shoot. This is me, the GOC. Again, I'll say it again. In order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you. And there's 3 types of people in this world. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the GOC that make things happen. Prayers for all those out there in need. And I would appreciate a few prayers back. We all could use it. All right, here we go. And let's see if you could figure out who Story Time is with today. Well, I'm going to give it away in the first sentence. I just purchased this so I could bring it to you, the fans. And I quote 5-time WWE champion and WWE Hall of Famer, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Bret the Hitman Hart. Quote, when I look back on Jim Ross, I can think of a few men who truly impacted the wrestling profession more than he did, leaving his own indelible yet unseen thumbprint everywhere going back to the mid-'80s. Jim was often right, and he was often right there in the room during the most crucial years when so much was happening. Jim Ross has always spoken the truth to me personally, to quote Bret Hart. His deep-rooted love and passion, first as a fan, as we all are, marks. That's right, we all are. And it's not an offensive term for all you current-day goons out there. Then as an announcer and eventually as a booker, he was always visible from the start of Mid-South to the WWE and now in current-day AEW. To my memory, Jim was the greatest play-by-play wrestling commentator there is, was, and ever will be. Pun intended by Bret Hart. He brought TV's greatest wrestling matches to life and the many unforgettable memories that come involving each superstar on each telecast. To say he was the excellence of execution, that's pretty simply put by Bret Hart. And I'll have to agree with that with the Hitman. And you guys know, and I'll briefly get into it, that I have a brief history with Bret Hart and Jim Ross. And I'll explain that after this opening statement by Bret Hart. Where were we? My mind's like a lazy Susan. It'll come back around. You guys know that. And I'm reading this for the first time with you. Involving each superstar in each telecast, as I previously said, taking you there word by word, guiding you carefully to the finish and for one more wild ride. Jim's unique ability to translate wrestling theory and logic, as well as his down-to-earth analysis, made so many rich memories for fans all over the world. That gift was making something worthy to carry all one's lifetimes as a cherished moment unlike any other. I know wrestling wouldn't have been the same without his unique ability to simply spell it out. I have no doubt he has much to say about all things wrestling, shedding light with honesty, passion, and a splash of zesty Southern humor. That was the foreword and the opening monologue from Bret the Hitman Hart. Business is about to pick up. And now that I think about it and reading through this, we'll probably do this in a series. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I'll keep each series and each story short. Maybe we'll go 15 minutes to a half an hour. I'll try not to go much more than that so we can pump out the different stories and content, but that's what we're going to be reviewing on Story Time with the GOC. Here it is, fans. Take a good look. Jim Ross with Paul O'Brien. Business is about to pick up. 50 years of wrestling and 50 unforgettable calls. To quote The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Jim's masterful play-by-play commentary has always been driven by his passion, deep wrestling knowledge, and most of all, his ability to make the audience feel the action of the wrestling match. You also know I have a brief history with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, appearing with The Rock at a Bally's Fitness opening where we had matches inside the Bally's Fitness Center itself in Brooklyn, New York, with thousands of fans where we appeared on the same event together, along with a couple of other stars from the World Wrestling Zone and from the AWA, the illustrious Johnny Stewart, the twins, Steve and Larry, Twin Turbos, Heaven and Hell, who were in the WWE and own and operated World Wrestling Zone, and of course, my old buddy, current AEW announcer, the Dapper Yapper. Back then he was Justin Price, now he's Justin Roberts. In his book, Best Seat in the House, it really is an unbelievable book. And not only because he put me over in chapter 5 titled Booker Man, but because Justin is a stand-up guy. And he's been in this business for a long, long time. So I'm going to give you a couple of quotes by some luminaries before we get into the different stories and calls by Jim Ross. So I just want you guys to know that. And I'm definitely going to make this into a series. So this is part 1. Praise for business is about to pick up. Some of the most electrifying and iconic moments in the history of pro wrestling, including many of my own, have been called by the legendary Jim Ross. Jim's masterful play-by-play commentary has always been driven by his passion, deep wrestling knowledge, and most of all, his ability to make the audience feel the action of the wrestling match, to once again quote Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And again, I'll get onto the stories of the personal connections, however brief, with Bret, Jim Ross, and The Rock. Here's another quote. Kenny Omega. If you were to ask my generation, what are your greatest memories as a wrestling fan, I have no doubt that most were elevated in that moment by Jim's call. It's in these moments we remember where we were, what we were doing, how this enthusiastic delivery excited us, or made us sad, made us laugh, made us feel compassion when we perhaps otherwise wouldn't have. Pretty interesting. Jim hasn't been the narrator gilding us along our journey in pro wrestling. guiding as well as gilding. He has become the voice synonymous with wrestling. It's been the greatest honor to have experienced his work as a fan and also have benefited by working alongside him in AEW. John Cena, 16-time WWE champion and member of the WWE Hall of Fame. Jim Ross has an incredible ability to identify grit and inner character. You guys also know I have a brief history with John Cena, and we'll get into those stories. And that's why you're here. My viewpoints, my connection as an insider, and the people and heroes and legends and rookies and veterans and young lions that I've worked with. That's why you're fucking here. Remember that. Through the years, he has been not only the voice of some of the greatest stories ever told in sports entertainment, he has identified and helped a great number of successful professionals. Jim was a strong advocate for me when very few were, and I'm extremely grateful for all his guidance through the years, to quote John Cena. 3-time WWE champion and member of the WWE Hall of Fame, Mick Foley, who I also have a history with, not so brief, in the ring and outside of the ring, Mick. And we'll elaborate on that for those of you that don't know. On countless occasions throughout my career, I would visualize big moves and big moments, ways to make a lasting impression on wrestling fans. On most of those occasions, I would also imagine the type of call Jim Ross might make for those moves and moments. With his inimitable announcing style and unmatched passion for pro wrestling, Jim Ross has the ability to turn a good match into a great match, and a great match into the stuff of legends. For an entire generation of wrestling fans, Jim's immortal calls were a part of the soundtrack of their lives. I can vouch for that, eclipsing wrestling itself to become an indelible part of the popular culture, to quote Mick Foley. So fans, members, subscribers, stand by. We're about almost 20 minutes in for part 1. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming right back. I just wanted to get this up, premiere this video, and let you guys know what's going on here this weekend on Chaos Corner, on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. I'll be right back. And I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it. Well, come on, Matt, back, man. We're not going anywhere yet. We just started.